Welcome to Spotlight TV. I'm your host, Emily Zubi. And whoa, do we have a surprise for you today? We have Elle Vi. She's an artist, a songwriter. She's part of our YPP circle and is releasing a single, a new song tomorrow. So we're going to give you a sneak peek today and we're going to hear all about her story. So welcome. So good to have you on.
Thank you, Emily. I'm so happy to be here. Honored.
This is bringing me back to my MTV days. I mean, I have been so excited to have you on the show and your story, your tenacity, and you've got a lot to share. So tell us a little bit, how soon did you have that sparkle in your eye and said, this is what I want to do?
So for as long as I can remember, I'd love to sing. I would put on like performances for my family as a kid. And writing music came a little bit after that. I was in high school and I wrote a song for a class. It was for a project. Last minute, I was freaking out, didn't know what to do. Ended up writing a song about a book and I showed it to my brother. And I remember him saying that that song was great. So I kept doing it. And ever since, I'm here now.
That's wonderful. And so you would perform for your family. I would perform as well, but they would tell me to get off. I could dance, but my sister's the one with the voice of my family. But, tell me about that first song.
So, that first song, I can't remember the book, but for some reason, I feel like it was The Alchemist. It was for an English class. And it was about the story of the alchemist. I tried to, make it a little bit, I always try to do this with my music. I try to make it relatable to everyone, like in a day-to-day life, as well as, connecting to the book and the story. And I haven't released that song. I don't know. Maybe I will one day.
Okay.
Maybe I will.
What's the message with your music? I mean, if you were to tell me how you want to be described as an artist, what would you say that is?
The first word that comes to my mind really is free-spirited and truth, because I really do speak of true experiences and my feelings. Once I sit with my feelings, I feel like the best way to express myself is to put it into music. And then I'm able to understand my emotions afterwards. So, free-spirited, truth. I do R&B. I range from a few different genres. I do R&B. I do a little bit of Afro pop. I do pop as well. Just exploring different genres for now, I think.
We're so excited to have you perform. We have our YPP Circle season opener, and our YPP is our 40 under 40, and it's a group. We have a new incoming president this year, so it's going to be at the Armstrong Jazz House, and we're going to have you perform for everyone. Yes. So no pressure at all.
No pressure.
But we're so excited to have you part of this group that we have, because we're shaking things up this year. So when you think about this new song that we're going to show a bit of, what's your process to go into the studio?
So I actually wrote this song before going into the studio. I was just in the car driving and I was listening to different beats, and the idea for the melody just came to me in the car. So I recorded a little voice note and then moved forward with it. I ended up working with a really good friend of mine on this song. He produced the beat, and then I ended up working on the lyrics myself. And the song is called The Boy, so it's definitely about a boy.
Okay. Like I was asking you before the show, is it about the boy? The boy? I mean, there's a lot of ways, but why don't we show? We're so excited to have it here first on Spotlight. You're going to see a sneak peek. It's going to drop tomorrow, and we'll tell you everywhere, Spotify, everywhere that you can hear the whole song. But we're going to show you a piece now of The Boy.
Okay, I'm excited.
I don't need nobody, just It's you on my body, you lead me out bottle. Feel like I'm falling, I see you, you see me. You need me straight like baby. Can't get enough of your love, oh. Do you feel the love? I wanna feel your touch. One night is not enough for the way I want you.
Absolutely beautiful. Congratulations. That's just a sneak peek. So, and you shot this with our friend?
Yes, I shot this with Dimitri at my studio, MV3 Studios in downtown Miami. So yeah, that's the performance video. I have some other content too that will be coming out for the song.
That is so amazing. So let's talk about the song. Let's talk about the lyrics. Let's talk about the story. I love that all your music has a message. So let's talk about this one.
Okay. I think this song, out of all of my other songs, is more on the fun side. So it is about a boy, you know, a boy that I had been thinking about in ways and that I wanted to find. And I said, bring me the boy that I saw last night. So it's really just manifesting, but also, you know, when you're out and you see somebody from across the room and you're kind of giving each other the eye and you don't really get a chance to talk to that person. And then you keep thinking about that person. So you find a way. You make it happen.
Well, it's love, right? Yeah. Love is such a dynamic and when you think about how many songs have been written about love and attraction and finding the one. Yeah. So this is about that initial spark, right? That
initial spark when you first see each other, but you don't really know yet. You don't really know what's going to happen.
Spoken.
No, you haven't spoken. Just the imagination speaking for itself.
And sometimes that's a better part. You know? Right? So when you were coming up with the song, how long before, you know, does the name come afterwards? I want to get a little bit into your head as a songwriter. Mm-hmm. Is that something that, you know, the concept comes and then the name comes, or the name, what's that whole thing look like?
I think it depends on the song, but for the boy specifically, I think when I started writing it, it was the chorus, the hook first. So I kept repeating, bring me the boy, bring me the boy. So I instantly knew it was going to be called The Boy for this song specifically, just because it was so repetitive in the song. It was like, there's no other way to go to name that song. It had to be The Boy.
That's wonderful. And then in the studio, how long did it take to shoot? You know, when I was with MTV, I mean, when it was about music videos, it was, I mean, we would have these unplugged. I mean, it was just such a dynamic, I mean, I was there in the heyday.
Yeah.
And that whole process is a lot of fun, but people tend to think it's a lot easier than it is. So how many hours? What did it, you know, did you have storyboards? What was the creative process like?
Well, for this performance video specifically, I mean, it was pretty quick actually. With Dimitri, we had a back and forth, just told him what outfit I had planned on wearing, and then he created a beautiful set. And then we just went from there, had some water vibes going on in the background with some leaves, so very nature. But in the studio, making the song was the long process, actually. I usually write my music. I write my hook and my first verse. Mm-hmm. And then later on in the studio, I'll figure out the second verse and the second part of the song, or I'll get help from people around, you know, in the studio. And I went back and forth into the studio with this song. I just always wanted to tweak something, or I wanted to change a single word. I just really wanted it to be my vision coming to life with the song.
I can't wait to see the studio. I mean, that's, you know, I love the set. I mean, it looks so tropical and,
it does.
You know, this really green. So he set that up, and then the music gets, with the soundboard, gets mixed in, or did you have any live?
I mean, I was performing live just so that, you know, you get the real behind the scenes. But yeah, with the soundboard, later on added the song onto it. But I might do a live version of the song one day. Who knows?
And you might perform it, you know, on the 5th when we have who knows? Let's step back and talk about you as an artist, and get to know you and your story. So, you know, how would you describe yourself in you know, with your goals, your ambitions, and You know, are you naturally one of these outgoing individuals? You know, is there a lot of introspection? How would you describe that?
I would say that I'm mostly an introvert. But when the time's there, I can be an extrovert. I can be pretty social when I have to be. But I would say that as an artist, as the writer behind everything, I am very introverted. And then when I perform, I love being on stage. It's one of the best feelings I think I've ever had in my life. So then that butterfly comes out of me, and I shine.
I love that. So let's talk about family.
Yeah.
Because you have an amazing family.
I do.
And I think, you know, parents that are legends themselves, right? And have done a lot for the community. So, and, you know, I always say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very close to my family, my dad, my mom, and my brother. The support I've had from them, honestly, has been the best that I could ever ask for, because being in this industry, it could be a little rocky, a little shaky sometimes. And I've had my family to, you know, ground me and remind me what matters really. My dad, I mean, it took a little time to convince him, you know. He wanted me to be a lawyer, a doctor.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. But he saw my passion when it came to music, and he heard my music, what I would write. And I think he really did come to support me naturally. It wasn't something that, like, I had to, like, force him to do or anything. So he really did come to support me naturally. And my mom's my best friend. So she's always been in my corner, my biggest fan, my momager.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother actually pushed me into this, really. Because I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to do this, you know, take this seriously and take it as a career. I didn't think that that was possible for me. And he made me see that it was possible and I could follow my dreams. If that's really what I wanted.
You're beautiful inside and out. I mean, when I first met you, I just, you know, you have this glow about you, and you know, that's, you know, just very appealing. So, you know, we have Susan Ford Collins, who is an author, also, you know, one of these connections from Dimitri. And one of the things that she says, you know, as far as, you know, all her books, is that, you know, as parents, that the biggest thing that we can do is to empower and support and engage, and, you know, no matter what, you know, our children want, to be able to give them those, you know, those wings to create that. So you've gotten that, and you've taken off, and you're ready.
I'm ready.
So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you know, what would you say, you know, we'd be looking at? What are those big goals?
You know, those big goals, I definitely want to be on tour. I think performing on big stages, that's what I see. I love that feeling so much, and it's just seeing people enjoy your music and act like it's an unreal feeling, an unreal feeling. So definitely touring, releasing a couple albums if we're talking 10 years, a few albums. Yeah, and just sharing my music, and, you know, having people getting to know me as an artist and also as a person, because I do really talk through my music. I talk to people, so yeah.
Who would you say are your icons when you think about, you know, if you had to say you're a mix between, or who has been your inspiration in music that, because, you know, not every songwriter performs their songs. There are some people who like to be in that lane and love, you know, sharing the story. And then there are people that, you know, can do both. So who would be your icon or icons?
Icons. I definitely have to say Miley Cyrus has been since I was young. I used to sing her songs, the Hannah Montana songs. Oh. That was my go-to. Until this day, she's inspired me. Her whole story, just watching her grow as, you know, an actress and artist, a songwriter, singer.
We were big Miley fans at our house.
I definitely love her.
For that.
So definitely Miley, I would say the initial, you know, inspiration came from her. And then I would say my style in some of the songs that are not out yet, but my style, I did get inspired a lot by Amy Winehouse's style, and I love her music. I think there's a lot of, deep stuff in there, and I think the way that she just carried it, it's a little jazzy, a little R&B, just she threw a little spice in there. So she inspired my style of music as well, and Afrobeats. In Afrobeats, it's definitely Thames. I've been following her story since I think she started making music. So yeah, Thames, Miley, and Amy Winehouse.
Amazing. What story would you say that you've told through your music that has been life-changing?
Okay. So I have this one song, and it's not out yet. I'm planning on releasing an EP with about 6 songs in December, and it's going to be on that. It's a bit tough to talk about, really. I was in a toxic relationship, and I kind of lost myself there for a second. And it's after that, being in that relationship, when I got time alone, that I started writing. I just needed to get those emotions out. And I spoke about that toxic relationship and the ways that it affected me, the ways that it pulled me in, the ways that it threw me back out and, pushed me to be the person I am today. I definitely say it shaped me.
I applaud you, because it takes a lot of courage to share your story. And, I'm pretty raw and authentic out. And, I went on a date once and he goes, "You have a pretty large digital footprint." I'm like, okay. But, a lot of it I've put out there. And, I always try to turn the mess into the message.
Yeah.
And so I love the fact that you had the courage to share it. What would be the message that you have for young women that get in those relationships? Because it takes a lot of courage to leave it. And then it also takes a lot of courage to learn the lesson, right?
Yeah. I think the one thing I could say that I definitely did learn, and I would advise people the same, is do not blame yourself. Do not blame yourself. Life is life. Life is going to happen and things are going to, be rocky. But do not blame yourself, because a lot of the time that person, that toxic person, tries to make it seem like it's all your fault. And I realized that I kept doing that with myself for so long after, years after. And once I figured out that I was blaming myself the entire time and not taking care and nurturing that, that little girl inside of me, that was life-changing, really. Because I said I have to take care of me.
That's a great message. We all have to, that self-care and that inner child. I don't think it matters what age we reach, but to always, even on your worst days, is don't negative talk to yourself, but talk to yourself like you would, the 9-year-old version, or, would you say that to yourself? If you're caught being cruel to yourself, talk to yourself with that inner child voice. I think that's really important. You seem wise beyond your years. That wisdom. Do you have a book in you? Are you writing a book?
No, I would just say it's life experiences. I learned from them. I've made mistakes and got back up, and I won't let myself make that mistake twice.
What other topics are you addressing through your music? So I think that's a really important life one. Yeah. Are there any other, we know about the boy.
Yes.
What are some of the other ones? If you could tease us a little bit about this album coming out in December.
I will tease you a little bit. So it ranges. I think there's a gospel one, honestly, at the end of the story, if you listen to it in order, that just kind of comes to tie everything together. When I say gospel, not very religious, it's just more empowering. And there's also another one about the relationship I have with myself and the way that I navigate that, because there's always, there's a good and there's a bad side. And when I say bad, I mean, the voices inside or whatever. Uh-huh. So it's balancing those two and, using one when you need one, and then pulling back. Yeah, so that relationship with myself, I also navigate in the album. Yeah, a little Afro beats, R&B.
Love that. Let's talk. I mean, I talk a lot on the show about faith, because I don't think that faith is about religion. I think it's about, just believing in a higher power, and I it's something that I talk to my son about. It's something I talk, and I very openly on the show talk about it, because through my hardest times, that faith is what's allowed me to, let go and let God.
Yeah.
And, I think, I get God bumps, when I talk about it, because it is so powerful. And I have a soundtrack that I listen to in the morning that's completely curated with, faith-driven songs. And it's something that I try to feed my soul. Yeah. So what inspired you to do a gospel track?
That was actually my dad.
Okay.
So, because he loves gospel music, and he showed me this one song that he loved, and it was playing in the house on repeat.
What song is it?
The Goodness of God.
Okay.
By C.C. Jones, I think. I also listened to it on blast in the house. But yeah, so he had been acquainted with the fact that I'm writing music, and he gave me a challenge, actually. He said, I bet you that you can't write a gospel song, because I had been writing about love and, fun stuff. And I said, give me one day, Dad. Give me one day. And in one day, I wrote that gospel song. It really just came out of me because it's faith, like you said. I felt connected to the source. I felt like, God just, left the song on top of me.
I love this.
Yeah, so in one day I wrote it, ended up recording it, and it's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorites.
Can you share one of the lyrics, or like what the hook is?
So the song is called Hold Me. And so the beginning, it says, when I can't get up and when I can't fight, and you look for support. I don't want to give the full song away.
No, no.
Trying to,
No. I get it.
So basically, yeah, when you're in the dark and you need, that pull back to the light. That's what
Has he heard it, or
my dad?
He's seen the lyrics. When he challenged you this, because I want to hear about this, I think that's a pretty powerful tool that he used to say, like, I'm going to challenge you to write a song like that. How soon after did you do that?
It was the next day. I was in the car. I think the car is my little writing spot. I just went into a parking lot, was listening to beats, and I'm like, okay, I got it. Took me, I want to say like 2 or 3 hours to write that song, and then I recorded it on my
Wow.
Recorded it on my voice memos, and then I showed it to him. He's like, no way, you just did that right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't get the writer's block, or like
sometimes
2 to 3 hours. I'll pop out a song.
That was a lucky moment.
Okay.
That was a lucky moment. I do get writer's block. I'd say I'm in it right now.
And then so you showed it to him, and he was like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. I'll have to add it to my playlist, and I'm excited for everything that you're doing. Let's talk about your Miami favorites. What do you do to have fun, keep yourself, what type of exercise, what do you do to keep yourself going and in shape? And I imagine that some of that stuff can get a little bit stressful, right?
Oh yeah.
So, what are your Miami favorites?
So I mean, we'll start with keeping fit. I do work out. I love doing hot yoga, and Pilates. And my roommate's a big workout freak. Shout out Willow. And she drags me to the gym all the time. I can't say I love it, but it's good for me. It works. And for fun, I mean, in Miami, there's so much you can do, really. Happy hour with friends, a bar, karaoke at home, What else? I mean, I love to go eat good dinner in Miami. Yeah.
Wonderful. So just, you're going to meet, and so we had on our show from Method K Pilates.
Yeah.
So you're going to meet a Pilates studio owner in our YPP.
Amazing.
And Daniela Uribe, who's, famous stiletto designer, luxury shoe brand designer. I mean, we have some really dynamic women. I don't have anyone that does hot yoga, but that doesn't mean we can't. But, fitness is really part of it. We had a lunchtime lab yesterday, and with another individual that we had on the show, Dr. Michelle Perlman.
Okay.
And it was all about, gut health and hormones and everything else. And there's so much, when you think and there's so many myths out there when it comes to women's health. But, we always say rock your health, rock the world. So having that routine is, part of it. Why don't you share, because you have this big single coming out, share where they can see the whole thing. It's being released tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, tonight at 12 a.m. it's going to be out. So you guys can follow me on Instagram, Elle Vi Music, ELLEVI Music on Instagram. And the song's going to be out on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, SoundCloud, everything. It's Elle Vi, the boy, coming out tomorrow.
Wonderful. So we're gonna make sure to hear the whole song, and in December, have the album. And then we'll have a performance also on September 5th. So we'll be sharing that on. And I hope to get into the studio with you and see when are you doing your next video?
Should be pretty soon.
Okay,
I'd say maybe next month.
Backup dancer. Yeah. I'm kidding. But not really.
Always. You're always invited to the studio.
Way in the back. No, I love music. Music moves my soul. And, I have such a eclectic you take a look at my Spotify and you name it, it's on there.
Yeah.
It just, all of it. So I'm so excited for you and your future and everything that you're doing. And, we're so happy to have you part of our YPP circle, and can't wait to see you perform on September 5th. Yes. And for you to meet the other rock stars. Any other shout outs to your family or anyone else? This is your chance.
Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. Love you, brother.
I'm going to take a book. I'm going to take a page out of that book and, make some challenges. Yeah. I never thought of putting it that way. I'm going to challenge you to stay on budget. No, I'm kidding. No. But it's so great. I think, parenting, I will tell you, is it's the toughest job that I've ever had, and I've brought in millions of dollars for companies and manage it, but, it's the toughest but most rewarding job. So to see how much you love your parents, respect them, and have that relationship with them, what I love about our 40 Under 40 group is that, it's the future. You guys are the ones who are going to carry the torch, carry the legacy, and, make us proud. So,
I'm excited to do that.
It's an important part of who we are. Let's talk real quick just charity, because part of what we do at the YPP is give back. Your favorite charity is?
Well, I love the Lotus House Women's Shelter and Angels for Humanity.
Wonderful. And we're honoring Angels for Humanity, Judith Joseph at our 50 Shades of Pink event coming up on November 8th. We have our Rockstar Awards, so we're really excited. And Lotus House, we do every Christmas, we do a give back. We collect clothes and bring them over there. And on Christmas Eve, I go over there and make the delivery. So that's an important part of our tradition. So wonderful having you on. You are not only just this glowing sunshine for the future, but I can't wait to see what you do next. I can't wait to see you perform live, and just remember me when you're
always. I won't forget you,
getting
Emily.
that, Grammy, the music, whatever awards come by, because it's going to be an exciting time. Thank you for joining us on Spotlight TV. We'll see you next week and same time. And we're so grateful to community newspapers Troopers for partnering and the wonderful producers behind the show. Thank you, and see